All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to start off by just introducing a new member of our Time to Heal team, Emma Evans. She's our new program assistant, and so you may see her at future events such as this one. Next, I wanted to just thank our sponsor, Nebraska Cancer Specialists. They sponsor all of our events, including our session today. So Nebraska Cancer Specialists is a proud supporter of A Time to Heal. And if you want to know more about them, you can go ahead and visit them at nebraskacancer.com. All right, so joining us today, we have two board-certified mastectomy fitters and clinical cosmetologists, Lori Fuchs and Lisa McDermott. They are from Inner Beauty at Methodist Estabrook Cancer Center. And they're going to be presenting and they're going to be answering any questions that you have. And so I will go ahead and moderate our discussion today. And so if you have questions, like I said, you can feel free to put them in the chat box and I'll moderate that, or you can just come off mute and ask questions as they present. So thanks, ladies, for joining.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Fuchs, and we're so glad that you have joined us today. And so, yes, we want it to be casual. We want you to feel free to ask questions, and hopefully we can help with some of the answers. We hope so. Again, this is Lisa McDermott. Hello. And Emily Bullmeyer had a death in the family, so she is also a clinical cosmetologist, board certified mastectomy fitter. And then we also have Sharon O'Donnell, who is also clinical cosmetologist, board certified mastectomy fitter here at Inner Beauty. We are from Methodist Hospital. We're part of the Methodist Hospital program. We're in the Estabrook Cancer Center in Omaha, Nebraska. And so we're kind of right in the cancer lobby. So we are kind of like in the middle of everything that's, you know, all the activity that's always going on in the cancer center. And we're part of a program that's called Harper's Hope. We were founded by a entrepreneur that was very well known in our community. And he wanted, after his wife passed away from lung cancer, he wanted to start Harper's Hope. So they have a hospice house and all these things in Omaha. And Inner Beauty, when he met with me about permanently endowing this program, he was so encouraged by this program because we do see all types of cancers, even though we see a lot of breast cancer because we do prosthesis and all the post-mastectomy garments. You know, we do see all cancer types. So, we do everything in Inner Beauty, from wigs, complimentary head shaves. Oh my goodness, we have I'm looking at a whole wall here of hats. We have all kinds of hats and beanies and scarves. We help people with a lot of education. One of the things that we have found with cancer is, your doctors are there to heal. They're there to heal you and to give you the best medicines that can help, eradicate that cancer. And so everyone has their own lane in the medical field. And our lane is to educate the patients so that our oncologists and such do not have to do that. So we educate our patients when they come in, and we tell them all the things, all those fear of the unknowns, the things that could occur with hair loss, the things that, happen with your skin that's very common with the type of drugs that you're on, especially the female drug, the female cancers that we deal with so often. And then, of course, we spend time, showing them wigs and doing all kinds of services for them. We do see some men, mostly it's for scalp care, head shaves, haircuts, some scar issues. I've seen a couple breast cancer males over the years that are looking for help. It's a difficult thing for a man also to have breast cancer because of the concavity that can occur in the chest. And so that is something that we also, we want to encourage men, even though we're pretty freely in here. We want to encourage them to come in and feel feel comfortable in getting education too, because they need to understand what can happen to their skin, what can happen to, you know, the sensations. You all know from hair loss, if you've had the hair loss, you know how it feels. Some people have real extreme discomfort while others just breeze through it and have just an itchy scalp. And so there's so many different things in that. I was trying to figure out how to share my screen so I could see all the faces at once, but it won't let me do it. So I'll just keep sliding the bar back and forth and see all your beautiful faces.
Lori, are you on a laptop?
I am. I'm on the, and I'm on the hospital laptop.
On the top right, is there a view like where it says?
Oh yeah, right there.
Yep. So if you switch it to gallery.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you all are.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's so makes me happy. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, that's much better. So anyway, we have been open for about 11 years. I started this program for Methodist. I founded the program, created the program, and we've grown so much. Started opening this, I opened the salon business first, and then within 5 months later, I opened the mastectomy business, and we just went from, I mean, we just grew gangbusters, just because it's such a niche lane, and it's such a specialty that so many people need, and so many people still need to know about, because a lot of them face these things alone, and we're really created so that our patients don't have to walk alone in this process. They have somebody that they know that will walk with them. I mean, literally through the very beginning of their diagnosis, and some of them we still see, you know, I've seen for over 11 years. Actually, I was doing this before, so some of them, a couple of them I've seen since 2007 when I first started working with cancer patients, you know, and so we have lifetime relationships with people. So that's kind of what we are here. We have Omaha Fashion Week. We do a cancer survivor style show. We see people from anywhere in the community, not just Methodist patients. We've seen, I think, 644 non-Methodist patients last year alone. So we help anybody. I mean, I had a gal come back from Germany years ago. She was in the service and she couldn't get a prosthesis, and she had to wear those tight uniforms. And she was always so self-conscious, and she was doing things to, you know, with Kleenex and all these type of things, and to try to get symmetry. And a relative, when she was on leave, a relative say, "Hey, I heard about this place." And she actually walked in, and it was the perfect timing because I was able to see her and help her, and you know, with all those things. So we don't just see Methodist hospital patients. We see anyone from any place, any state even. So all around the region. So we're proud to be able to serve the community and other places as well. So yeah, we had a question I see on here already in the chat.
Yeah, so it was a comment, but
Okay.
but perhaps you can speak to it, because I'm sure this is something that you see probably on a daily basis. But one of our participants says that they were not prepared for how uncomfortable other people would be with their baldness.
Okay. Yeah, you know, that is something that people do deal with. A lot of survivors are concerned with that personally themselves, not just with even other people. But you do find people that will go to the lengths of just wearing a wig when they really don't want to, just to make other people comfortable. And the reason, I think the reason that is because it's not that the other person is uncomfortable with how you look or how the cancer survivor looks, as much as it is they feel helpless. They really, you know, people, you know, will say things, they'll try to give you advice and all these kind of things, and lots of, and sometimes it can be, it won't help. It comes off as almost a rejection, that you're feeling rejected by these people. But in all honesty, over the years, just seeing people come in, they try to do whatever they can, you know, because they are out of control and they can't make it better for you. And so, yes, there will be people that will be uncomfortable, because when you have hair loss, the cancer is made real. It's a real thing. You know, when you're wearing a wig, you know, you can look normal, you can look healthy, and it camouflages the fact that you are fighting a deadly disease. But when you have the hair loss, that's when the reality kicks in. For probably it did for you, probably as a survivor, as one that was going through the treatment. But it's also the same way with those that are, you know, that are close to you, whether it's a spouse or a family member, grandchild, child, you know, they're all dealing with so much too. So I hope that you have an open line of communication with those people. And I mean, were you able to communicate with those people about your hair loss? And
you know, Lori, do you mind if I share my own experience with that? I used humor because I understood that they were more uncomfortable than I was in reality, and they didn't know how to react to that. So I would say something along the lines of, oh my gosh, now I know why those bald guys are just living their best lives. I just don't have to, I can just jump out of the shower and I'm good to go. You know, and I don't have to worry about this anymore. This is great, you know, and sometimes just a little fun remark like that is enough to make the other person feel very relaxed and go, oh, she's okay with it. So therefore I can be okay with it and laugh along with her and tell her, gosh, you look great. And, you know, I'm so happy that you're doing well, and we continue to wish you well, whatever. I did wear a wig, you know, so I did both, if you will, but when it got into summer, as we're, you know, heading into spring and summer and it starts to get warm, that wig gone. I can't do it anymore. And I was having hot flashes anyway. So maybe try using a little humor and maybe start with some of your closer friends that you can trust emotionally to kind of test those waters and see how that works for you. That's my advice. Does anybody else have any advice?
I had a lady say she wanted to wear her wig for her grandkids. Some of these young women have little kids and they want to try to keep things as normal as they can to make it look like mom is healthier than she is. I had a teacher come in the other day that said, I'm going to wear my bald head because I know that some of my students someday are going to go through this. And I want them to know that you can go through it with bald head and be fine. Everybody, it's their own personal journey and they all handle it in the way they see is best for them and for their family and the people they affect in their personal lives and in their jobs.
I used to have pins. I used to get these little button pins from a company, and I can't get them any longer. But it said, "You're having a bad hair day. I'm having a no hair day." And I mean, and they had it on the hats, you know, no hair day. You know how those little ball caps have bad hair day, and it had ball caps that had no hair day. And so, you know, even doing something like that, you know, just will make, you know, someone laugh, just like you were talking about, Brenda. Yeah. So is anyone going through the beginning of treatment where they have not lost hair, or are we all okay? So
Sandy,
you're just going to start treatment.
I had a treatment the 17th.
Okay.
And one treatment, and my next one is February 11th.
Okay.
And as of yet, no loss of hair. But
Okay.
I think by next week, she said, I'll be noticing it starting to fall out. And by the second treatment, within a week or two, it'll be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And what can I ask what type of cancer you have?
Intrametrial.
Okay. And then do you know what drug you're on? Chemo drug? Are you on Taxol, Taxotere, carboplatin?
Carboplatin and Taxol.
Taxol. Okay. Yeah. So between the 16th and the 19th days after you first start your treatment, you'll have hair loss. And so
from the first treatment?
Yeah, so hair loss occurs between the 14th and the 21st day after your
Okay.
very first treatment. And
Okay,
so usually with Taxol, carboplatin, it's usually that day 16th through that 19th day. So it'll probably be in that 16th, 18th, 16 through 18 little window that you'll start noticing, a little hair loss. You may have some discomfort on your scalp where it feels like you have a little bruise, or maybe it feels tingly or itchy, or you may have just some discomfort in areas, and that's kind of an indication that that's where the hair loss will begin.
oh, really? Okay,
That's where the hair loss will begin to come out, but it's not like the movies. You're not going to go to bed at night and wake up without hair, which they show us, and it's just so, it starts out just like we all have as women and men, especially if you're over 50 years old, you start noticing a lot of hair loss, and
right.
we
Well, my
have
husband-
normally about 120 hairs a day that we lose. That's just kind of a common thing. But with hair loss, it starts out slow, but then it accelerates. So then
Right.
we always want to tell our survivors to make sure you're planning. So if you're going out of town, and that, make sure you take hats, or maybe take your wig with you, take a clippers so that you're not,
Right,
unprepared, but just prepare yourself for that, 16th through the 19th, 20th day after your very
Okay.
first treatment.
okay. Well, I'm glad to know that, because I didn't know it was specific.
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on the drugs. They
Yeah.
all are different. I mean, a patient with lung cancer could have just some real, just slight thinning with some of their drugs. And I mean, some of those drugs that they use, I'll be very honest with you, I'm not even as familiar with them as I am those with, ovarian, endometrial, peritoneal, breast, and, some of those female drugs, because they're very common. They use a lot of the same ones. Your adermyosin, your Cytoxan, your carboplatin, your Taxol, your Taxotere. And so all those, cause different types of symptoms, with your nails, thinning nails. Does anyone have issues with their nails right now going through treatment? Anybody? So nails can get thin, you can get ridges and all those type of things on your nails. You can have some hyperpigmentation on the nail bed, so they can turn dark in color. It's very common with, did you have that, Brenda, with your adermyosin, Cytoxan?
You know what, I'm trying to remember. Actually, I think I might have, now that I really think about it. I have to go back a minute. And going back to the hair loss real quick, you can see I have long hair, and I had longer hair when it started. And I had my hairdresser cut it short to kind of help, so it wasn't quite as traumatic for me. So when it did fall out, it just wasn't as much, shall we say.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I think, now that you mention it, I think I did have some of that with the nail beds.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. So if we want to go back to, for instance, with Sandy, Sandy, it's up to you when you choose to, every one of our survivors are different and when they decide they want to shave their head. Most of them, I always tell people, it's a black and white. There's no gray area when you're ready to shave your head. Everyone is either yes or a no, black or white. But one of the things that a lot of people are like, I'm just not sure. Well, they're still in that gray area. But once hair loss starts, it does start slow, but then it accelerates. And then what happens is it gets messy. And so that kind of pushes people to be proactive in wanting to get their head shaved. And so then it's no longer gray. It's either, yes, I'm ready. No, I'm not ready. And then I would say, when you're ready, get your head shaved.
My husband is also going through cancer. And so he lost his hair like a year and a half ago. And it was like a small animal on his pillow for 2 nights. And I said, okay, this is it. And so then when mine doesn't even get that far, I will shave. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of know what to expect through him as to what happened with him. But yeah, it'll be kind of traumatic.
It will be. It will be.
Yeah.
It will be. And it's an eye adjustment. I always say, you can't, I always tell everyone, don't look at the whole staircase, because it's so overwhelming with everything that you're going through with treatment and all the different doctors, and you have this going on and this going on, and you have the family, the personal stuff going on. I mean, literally, it's just like one day at a time, one step at a time, and you know, just take it in one step at a time, and then move up to the next step, you know. And but you know, once you have your head shaved, I mean, I always call it a grace card. I just believe that survivors are given a grace card, because if those here have, I mean, I can see Tracy, it looks like your hair's coming back in. And then it looks like Donna, that you're at the hair, and Ardith, it looks like you're both at the hair loss stage. So, or where you maybe are.
I've got hair coming in. I
Okay.
don't feel comfortable with it in the front. I think it's, I want it thicker in the front of my hair, so.
Sure.
But I remember when I was losing my hair, that when I was showering, I was getting big clumps out of it in the shower. So as soon as that started happening, then it took me a while to shave it, but then I decided, yeah, get it off, and it felt better.
Yes, and then once it gets off, you know, it eases any discomfort on the scalp that you may have too with hair loss. But then you're going to want to wear a soft little beanie, something very soft and comfortable. And then those little hairs, when you shave it down, those little hairs themselves come out. And when you're wearing a little comfort cap, then, like, you know, just a soft little beanie, you know, can you see? Comfortable, soft, kind of that bamboo blanket stuff.
Yeah.
And then those little hairs will be captured within the cap. And then you don't get it all over your pillow like your husband did. And then also when you're lounging in your chair or you're getting treatment, these are all things that are very easy to wear, comfortable while you're not wearing your wig. And then your eye does get adjusted to how you look. I mean, it's never going to be, you're always going to be anxious for your hair to come back in, of course, but many gals, you know, really just start wearing cute hats, and they, you know, some women go out and buy new clothes. They get a new wardrobe, and they just start, you know, putting a little bit more makeup on, and, you know, maybe start wearing a lipstick. Maybe you've not ever worn a fun lipstick. Maybe you want to, you know, wear a fun lipstick and make sure you have, you know, your eyebrows drawn in, and wear some blush and some lipstick, and, you know, every morning, you know, every morning do something for yourself. Hi, Tracy.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a comment to the lady who was feeling uncomfortable with other people's reactions. Disclosure, I'm a hairdresser and have been for 30 years. And so I became the bald hairdresser, which is pretty ironic because years and years of helping people, and I have helped people grow their hair back from cancer. And I've always said, like, oh, we can do like cute little do's along the way. And I'm like, seriously, like, this is ridiculous. But I've had every different reaction. And I think the big thing is it is everybody, you can't control what other people are going to think or feel. I had a really hard time, not so much with the baldness, but that first stage when it was really short and I had no eyelashes, no eyebrows, I felt very, very masculine. And then I had my son tell me he thought it was beautiful because it showed that I was past treatment and I was getting better. So I had to change the perception of how I was seeing it and try to look at the people who love me and see how they see it. And that made a huge difference for me. I'm the same, those hot flashes, there's no wig going on this head. Like I can't do it. It's too much. So I actually did, not now, but when it first came out, when it was really white still, I did put a color on it because I thought, don't be a martyr. That's going to make you feel better with some color, spice it up. So
right, absolutely.
People are going to be, they're going to wonder. One of my clients told me I look badass. And I was like, okay, I love that. Other ones were like, can I touch it? And I'm like, okay.
It's just hair.
I know. I'm just like, you know,
different than a guy's head, you know?
So I totally understand that because I usually open the door with my hoodie on and I just say to them, are you ready? And, you know, I don't know.
I'd love to add one more thing, Tracy. I thank you for saying that. So important. I'm going to say something too to all of you. My hair was growing back, and of course, this is not my natural color. And so it was very ugly. If it was solid gray, I would have loved it, but of course it wasn't. It was this horrible mess. Do not do what I did. I stupidly bought box color instead of going to a professional like Tracy, which is what I should have done. And I just did the box color just because I just wanted to no, please, if you can afford to go to the salon, please do so. Plus the salon experience just helps you feel better, you know? And there's lots, all the hairdressers are very, I think most of them have experienced having a cancer patient, and they're so sympathetic and so sweet. Treat yourself if you can, and go, and like Tracy said, go get your hair colored and professionally, and you're just going to feel fabulous. And I know, and you're thinking, oh God, I'm going to spend the money, and then in 2 weeks it's going to be grown up. It's okay. Dark roots are in, isn't that right, Tracy? So it's fine. So I just want to
or light, one of the two.
Light.
We do color hair Tracy's length too here, and one of the things though, it is different, you know, because it's not, I mean, it's brand new hair, so it would be classified virgin hair, if you will, but then it's also compromised hair, because, you know, that hair's been compromised by the chemotherapy. So that's why it grows out, you know, and people have more curl and all those type of things, but you know, color doesn't adhere to it as much as it would, you know, just a normal head of hair. So, you know, we always try to stay away from, you know, things. We like to do a peroxide, not a peroxide, but an ammonia-free product that is a little bit, you know, more gentle on the scalp and on the hair, and then trimming it a lot, and then make sure you're using products on your scalp and on your hair and really forever, especially as women get older too. It's important to leave the sodium lauryl sulfates behind and get into something that's more natural. You know, you have your surface brands that are great for that. You have other brands that are just, you know, Pravana and you know, oh gosh, yeah, Aveda. What's the one I use all the time? My purple. He created it for his cancer survivor neighbor. Oh, I'm trying to think of what I use. It'll come back. Anyway, but some of those that are sodium lauryl sulfate free, so sulfate free, paraben free, are really important for women.
Could you say those product names again, please?
Yeah, sulfates. So if you just remember short, sulfates and parabens. So sulfates are the detergents that they use that are chemically derived to cause the sudsy, you know, all that great sudsy feeling that we get. And then the parabens are what is on the other end of the bookshelf of the ingredients, and that is to kind of keep the product stabilized.
Preservatives.
And they're preservatives, they're chemically derived preservatives. So we want to stay away from parabens and sulfates, and make sure that you're Pureology.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering what the names of the products that you were recommending.
Yeah, so
Surface,
Derm Organics, Pureology, Surface, Pureology, Derm Organics, Aveda. Surface is a really nice scalp stimulator to help stimulate those follicles, so that it helps promote hair growth.
yeah. Awaken line in Surface.
The Surface Awaken line.
The Awaken line in Surface is specifically for stimulating hair growth.
I wish I would have known about that. This is so interesting. Lori, can I ask you a quick question? Sure. In terms of you're telling us about some great products that I'm very excited, and I think we can also have maybe you follow up with some of the names. You know, we can send out maybe a list after this is over. Perhaps you can help us with that. But what about supplements? I know I didn't know if it would, I didn't think it, I thought, well, it's not going to hurt me. But I started taking biotin. Is that a smart thing to do?
Yeah, I mean, if you're undergoing treatment, and that would be always something I would definitely check with your healthcare provider to make sure that it's okay with them. But if it is, absolutely, those type of things are good. You know, some doctors are like, we don't want you on these certain, you know, vitamins or and such, you know, or collagen. Those are really important supplements as we get older. You know, the powder collagens or the liquid collagens. But those are all things that you want to check to make sure there's no interference with any drugs that you may be on while you're going through treatment. If you're post-treatment, then that's a whole different story. But yeah, biotin, collagen, all those type of things can really help. And then using shampoos that are, like I said, and products even on your whole body that are free of those heavy detergents, those chemically derived detergents, you know, are important.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sandy.
I'm also a hairdresser.
Nice. All right. Woohoo.
And I've colored my hair since I was 19. And so my question is, when your hair starts to grow back, does it start growing back once you're through with chemo? And how long does it need to be, or how soon after you're done with chemo can you start coloring it? Because I do go to the supply houses to get my color.
Sure. So I would say if your hair is going to start growing back, everybody's different, but it's literally a window between 3 and 6 months post stopping your chemotherapy. Some people are different. I was telling Brenda earlier that my neighbor was using emu oil on her scalp and having scalp massages all the time. And she was on one of the heavy, like one of the most extreme, treatments with chemotherapy, 16 treatments, and her hair started growing back while she was in the middle of Taxol. So I just really never seen that very often. I just don't. But if you really are taking care of your hair and making sure you're using products on your scalp when you're shampooing and keeping the condition actually of your scalp really pristine. You don't want it to get dry, just like our skin. We don't want dryness can really start. Dehydration can really take us to a point that we don't want to get with our skin at any age. And so I would say, as far as coloring your hair post outgrowth, you're gonna want to have enough to grab onto. It kind of your hair comes in. It's almost, I always reminds me of kind of that baby ostrich hair.
Right.
Agree, Tracy? It's kind of like, it's just real fine and just kind of flimsy. Other people, it comes in a little thinner at first, and then it starts thickening up and really taking off as far as growth wise.
Okay.
So I would give yourself a good 3/4 of an inch to an inch if you can. If you can't, and you have a lot of hair and it's coming back in, then definitely go into whoever you trust and color it.
Okay.
But Pravana is a nice line. That's with Salon Centric. That's around the United States. Pravana is a ammonia-free product, and but you're blonde, so
now what would be a good a thing to use on your head when with no hair to keep it from getting dry?
Well, conditioners for sure. You want to condition your scalp always. So emu oil is a huge one, but you'd want to make sure your emu oil has a certification on the back of it. So it's going to want to show this little, can you see?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this is going to show that it is certified to the highest degree.
Okay.
So if it doesn't have that on there, it doesn't have the mark of what an emu oil should.
Okay.
So you can go into health food stores and buy an emu oil, and the shelf life, they're very, very costly, very costly. 2 ounces could be $50 some, and it doesn't have a shelf life. This makes it have a shelf life. This is the only thing that's in this product is emu oil and vitamin E, which is also a tissue healer. But emu oil, do you want to talk about emu oil? I'm just talking all the time. She'll tell you.
Emu oil, well, it comes from a bird. And it has all of the essential fatty acids that your skin needs to be healthy. It's got 3, 6, and 9 in it. It's a transdermal lotion, which means that it doesn't just sit on your skin like a baby oil. It actually goes into the tissue, strengthens the tissue. It's anti-inflammatory. I think it does have some antibacterial properties. It's very healing. It's great for scars. And we always recommend this to our radiation patients. We use it about 2 weeks before starting radiation and through the whole treatment. Yeah, to strengthen your skin before you go in. Lori and one of the pharmacists here actually did a study on it, and it was proven to drastically reduce the negative side effects that you get from radiation. So we love it. And like Lori said, the one patient used it on her head, grew a beautiful head of hair with it. So
That, you know, it's just a nice, it's just very hydrating because it is transdermal. So
Yeah.
I would say, you know, something that you can find that has that certification.
yeah.
Okay.
Donna, did you have a?
Can I speak up real quick? Because Lori
Oh.
probably won't. I'm gonna first of all, this is my cat.
Oh.
Ida Sugar. What I'm gonna say is, if you can't find that specific emu oil that has that longer shelf life, you can order it from Lori. You could, and we'll again send out a document that has her phone number on it, so you can call her and you can order it from her and she can ship it to you if you can't find it in your area. So I wanted to put that plug in for you, so that you know that I'm definitely a neutral party here, but I do know that this works. I used to actually help raise money for Methodist Hospital Foundation, and I have heard other people absolutely rave about it. So, and how long does it last with the extended shelf life?
This one in particular has a 3-year shelf life. And the only thing that's in it is emu oil and vitamin E, which is what is used for but it's the way it's distilled is the main thing. And I do want to backtrack even with what Lisa said. Now, I brought this into a different healthcare system in 2007 after just researching almost a year for emu oils because of our radiation patients, our breast cancer patients, and how burned their chest walls would be. And I will say that I would have people start on this when they started their chemotherapy. So they would use it on their scalps, they would use it on their chest wall. And I'll go back to my neighbor, and if she was here, she would give the testimony of this. She put it all over. I always tell people to go higher, lower, and wider when they're applying it. You always want to rub it between, warm your product up, up first, and then just start putting it on where you're prepping your skin for radiation and or your face or your scalp or your heels, your nails, your nail beds and such. But then she used this all the way through her whole 16 treatments. And then she went through 33 radiation treatments, and her skin got barely pink except up by the clavicle bone. She didn't go higher than the clavicle bone. Around the clavicle area, she was red and blistered and miserable. And everywhere else just got barely pink. And that's because she was using it, prepping her skin for months. So if I can get a hold of people at the very beginning of their treatment, once they've had surgery of whatever type, I don't care if it's head and neck. One of my dear male friends, throat cancer, he will swear to this stuff because it saved his skin, and he had massive radiation to his neck and his face and jaw area and his neck and all through this whole area. And so anyway, Donna, I put my plug in about emu oil.
Actually, I was wondering, since I never got to use the emu oil before my radiation or anything like that, it's afterwards, and I'm getting soon to have surgery for a tissue expander. Is it still good to use now, like after it's been done?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you suggest for afterwards?
So I would say you would never want to put it on an open scar, for sure. But after your incision heals, you're certainly able to put it in. It's really good for even your port site, those scar areas. And then make sure that if you're using it on your skin, stay away from the open wound.
I don't have any open wound right now. I'm getting prepared to
Yeah.
But I still want to soften my skin up now.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have expanders in, you said?
No, I'm
So-
going to get surgery for expanders
Okay,
in like
okay.
a month or two.
Okay, yeah, start using it now and use it twice a day, morning and night, and then use it afterwards. Once your scars are,
Oh.
you know, healed and drains are gone and whatever you need, whatever they do, then
Okay.
just keep using it on your skin, absolutely, to keep that skin in pristine condition so that you have successful, expanders. What the expanders are going to do is they're going to stretch that skin out during that time, so then they can insert that implant. And then if you have any issues with symmetry during that time, there are things in the interim that you can do with that. You know, we haven't even talked about the breast care part of it yet, but there are so many things that we can help with to get you to have symmetry while even with an going through the expansion process and post reconstruction as well.
Lori, I just want to make sure we're getting to some of these questions, and I want to make sure that I didn't miss
Sure.
any. So somebody back on the topic of the hair dye ingredients, are there
Okay.
any ingredients to avoid? I think you did mention one brand or a couple brands that would be good for hair dye, but I wanted to make sure that question was answered as well.
Well, it's really all about, you know, the hair condition. I mean, it really is a personal, you know, assessment that needs to happen before you can determine. I mean, any color may work on certain hair, but you know, if you can stay away from the ammonia in the hair color, it's definitely more healthy to use, because you're already using peroxide and those type of things. But an ammonia-free color, and there are those out there, you know. You're going to find REF is one, Pravana is one. Surface has some ammonia-free products.
I think too, when we were talking earlier, I didn't say the precursor. I shaved that downy hair off. I didn't, because it isn't real hair, that first hair. So yeah, you don't like, I didn't do that. And I massage my scalp like 23 hours a day. But yeah, I waited till my real hair started coming in before, and I did. It was just a semi-permanent color. I didn't do anything lighter, just
You
like
just deposited color.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
And
so she was depositing color. She wasn't lifting or anything.
No lifting. I will not be doing that for.
Not until you get that hair healthier. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So I just wanted to say, that even being a hairdresser, I was like, no, I'm not going to do anything crazy. But yeah, that first hair isn't gonna color for you anyway. So
yes. Yeah, it doesn't adhere. I mean, you could put a level 3, which is a really dark color, on someone, and it'll just be like, it could turn orange. You know, it's just as a crazy. I've been there, done that back in the day. So anyway, but yeah, those are all good points for sure.
Thanks for answering that. One of the questions that I received in advance was not necessarily about hair loss, but about hair thinning. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that or any products that would assist with that.
Yeah, again, the hair products for thinning hair, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing the sulfate paraben-free shampoos. I would definitely put someone on a scalp stimulator of some sort, whether it be prescription. It could be a Rogaine prescription. Bosley would be a great one. There are, you know, Bosley is a really good one, actually. And Surface is a really more in the natural compared to the Bosley and some of those others that have been around for a lot of years. Surface is probably the most natural, but Surface and Bosley are really good. They have shampoos, they have treatments that you put on the scalp, and you can do spot treatments if you need to, and you just stimulate the scalp with that. There's several products. It's not cheap, unfortunately. None of those products are, they do have multiple steps, but you know, if that is an issue, I would definitely get on those for however long you need to be on them.
The Rogaine, like Rogaine and stuff like that, that's one thing I didn't want to go on, because I think you have to be on it for the rest of your life, isn't it?
Go ahead, you want to answer?
Once you start using it, you have to start using it. Keep using it. Yeah, if you stop, then you lose the benefit of that product
For thinning
for
hair.
thinning hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get
Uh-huh.
the stimulation on the scalp, to get those follicles to wake up. I call them sleeping beauties. They kind of, they go for a rest, and sometimes they just need a little kick in the bottom to get them to, to start growing. So once you start stimulating that follicle, then there's that, that hair growth can occur. But if it's thinning hair, definitely. But the beautiful thing with that is there's toppers now that if you have, just this hair loss that's through here, there's all kinds of toppers and things that you can wear now that are so natural. You just have to have an expert be able to help you with those type of things. Thankfully, we have one here, which is Sharon. She's excellent with toppers. She can just, help people with that type of hair that's through, through the top part of the head. So,
Do you guys have any experience with using nioxin?
so yes, so nioxin's another one. It's a little harsher than some of the, it's a little harsher than Bosley, and for sure harsher than Surface. But nioxin's kind of one of those that have been out there. They're kind of the forerunners of the, of that. It definitely is nothing that anyone would want to use during treatment, because I have had people over many years that I've been doing this, people will come in and they'll just have like this rash all over, and I'll be like, are you using nioxin? And they'll be like, yes, my hairdresser told me to use nioxin for hair loss. And I'll be like, no. Put it in a dark, dry spot, cool, dark, dry spot, and then pull it back out once you're done with chemo. You don't want, chemo is, it's very strong, and so you don't want anything that's going to interfere with your skin, and it causes enough skin issues without adding to the problem by putting something that's so very strong on the scalp. So, but yeah, I mean, you're probably at the stage where you could be using nioxin too, if that's what you're using.
I've never tried it. I just know because
Okay.
I'm in BC, Canada, and I
Okay.
don't know what products are available, but I've never even, like I said, never tried it. I didn't really know. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, I if I were you, I'd probably check out Bosley and or Surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a
Surface
question.
being the most gentle.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat box. What about the Xenigan line? I might have said that wrong.
Okay, is there a spell?
Zenagen.
Is that a prescription drug, prescription line? I'm not familiar with that line.
So if you want to come off mute, maybe she can ask a more specific question.
I wish I did know that line, but I'm not aware. I don't know if it's a private line. There are some out there that are just they're not what we would call professional, because in the professional industry, it has to go through a professional, you have to be licensed professional. But there are several lines out there. I can't tell you what the names of them are because I don't remember, that you get through a private person that sells it. So if that's the case, then I don't know what that is. I'm so sorry. I wish I could address it though.
And so if you want to explain more in the chat box, if that's easier, we can follow up. It says that it was recommended by a survivor hairdresser. You can get it on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I knew. But I mean, I would look at the ingredients and look at the I'd look at the reviews. Amazon is all about reviews. So you're going to get reviews. And so read the reviews. And if it looks like it's something that everyone's having success with, then, you could certainly try it. The other ones you'll have to get through a professional salon. So, I mean, even the ones that are like the Beauty First, what is another one that's besides Beauty First that carries everything? Ulta. Some of those places you can get stuff through. Yeah.
I just wanted to interrupt real quick since we are at 10:54. And I know, Lori, I think there's some folks that maybe had some question. Kelly, do you know if there's some folks that had some questions about mastectomy issues that they might be having. I don't want to leave those folks out, even though we're all interested in the hair care, and I'm fascinated by it all too.
So much that we haven't covered. Yeah, I want to just show you a few prostheses. So, so prostheses have come. Can everyone see these? Well,
Yeah.
okay. So prostheses have come so very far, even since I started in the industry. And I started in the industry in 2007. And I just think that they've really have become state-of-the-art prosthesis. This is a lightweight. Now this one is a size 6, but you can see it has a larger footprint through here. It tapers down, and then it has a nice drape, very light fit. But what happens is they go inside these pockets. This is a mastectomy bra, and you can see there's a pocket. And then prosthesis just go right into that pocket and fill in that cup. And then what happens is then once it's across the body, it just gives the illusion of breast. So what we do in the whole mastectomy world is we do everything for symmetry. No matter what it takes, we try our best. There is no perfect after mastectomy, of course. There's not ever going to be a perfect, whether you have a reconstruction, whether you have a lumpectomy, or you have a unilateral or a bilateral breast surgery. There just is no perfect, unfortunately. But we do everything we can here to help with different types of prosthesis and, partial prosthesis and the different styles of bras. If you are a one breast, a unilateral patient, what we go in and do is we go in and fit a bra on that existing breast, and then we do measurements, and then we go in with a prosthesis and fill that other side out. And so that we can gain symmetry, we do a lot of measuring and those type of things. We have people come in with swimsuits and, oh gosh, dresses, mom's dresses, mother of the bride dresses that they can't wear a bra. And we're like, okay, let's do these pads and then have a seamstress sew these in so that we can gain symmetry. So we help ladies with everything. I have always been really loved clothing. And so I like to tell women, colors to use, not just for, their skin, but also just for their body, and also with patterns and things like that. It can really trick the eye into, we always look in the mirror and we see our inadequacies, right? We hone in on one thing that we have that's really, that we're not happy with. And we always think, as a lot of breast cancer survivors tell me that they always feel self-conscious, that they think people are looking at their chest all the time. So I always talk to people about what they can do to trick the eye of the person. I wanted to just show this prosthesis. This is a pure silicone prosthesis. This has a cover on it, so it slides right in. This is a brand new line, but it's a pure silicone. It is the lightest weight technology. It's one that someone could literally wear on the back of their skin. But in 100-degree weather, they have a little freezer gel. You put this gel in the freezer, and then you put it on the back of the prosthesis, and then you put it in its little cover, and that will cool the chest wall. Women are loving that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just showing you 3 out of many styles. This is another prosthesis. So we have an ABC, we have an ammonia. I need to go back to bed. Ammonia. And then we have True Life. And then we carry other brands, Anita, we carry all kinds of Nearly Me, we carry all kinds of things. But these are 3 of our state-of-the-art prosthesis that are very, very soft, lightweight. And then we carry all kinds of partial prosthesis for those that have had lumpectomies or partial. Now, this is just one style. This is almost like a chicken cutlet, but through this apex area, you can see there's going to be fullness. And so for someone that is lacking fullness and projection through the apex due to areola being gone, the nipple being gone, they aren't able to fill out bras. And so there's so many different things that we can do. And you know what? A lot of our gals are very active and they want to wear really active, fun bras. All these are pocketed. This is what we call a handful. I love this line. It's a leisure bra. You have to slip it up over your legs. And I always tell people, before you get dressed and before you put shoes or pants on, you just shimmy it up. And then it also has razor backs so that you can also, you know, wear tank tops and things like that, or you can just wear it, you know, the regular way, but it has the pockets. And this company is well known for their handful. Their motto is life is more than a handful. It was a 30-some-year-old gal that and friends that created this line. And these are pads, and we have many different styles of empty cup pads. This is just one where we build a breast, or we help people with symmetry. If they're not going to want it to wear a prosthesis in their bra, we could layer pads. So we just literally build breasts for people. So there's so many options, way too many to cover. And but we do everything in the mastectomy world. We carry hundreds of bras and many styles. Yes, ma'am.
I have well, again, remember, there's no dumb questions, but here we go. I was lucky enough to keep both of my breasts. However, the right one, that was the one that was treated, has a whole lot of scar tissue.
Yeah.
And so it's like not as movable, shall we say, anymore.
Okay.
It's very stationary, shall we say. And so something that I experienced recently on vacation was I got a new dress that was more plunging, and that one is off over here, whereas the other one, you know, you put a bra on and you create cleavage, right? And this one was just, it didn't want to move. So hilariously, this is, you know, I'm in a safe space, right, girls? You're all gonna keep this to yourselves. So what I ended up having to do with my two traveling companions is they used to do pageants, and they did the duct tape. No joke. Oh yeah.
Wow, clever.
Yeah, clever, but
duct tape works for all kinds of things.
Well, yeah. But I just wondered if there was a different kind of bra I should be looking for, or something, you know, when you've got that issue, where maybe one breast is a lot more scarred up than the other, or things like this, or anything you can do for that, or is it just duct tape?
Well, yes. So you'd have to come in with a certain style. That's the thing. Our gals will buy different bras for different clothing items. I mean, it sounds like it's not as high maintenance as you would think, but it really is. You know, if someone has a unilateral chest wall and they have one breast and they have one prosthesis, you know, the kinds of bras that work the best for that type of patient is, you know, one that has seams in it, because it can really help hem in that existing breast and give it a better shape compared to a bra that is real lightweight and doesn't have any weight at all. I don't know, like this one, for instance, it's hard to see, but I mean, it's a real thin bra, but if you're a unilateral bra, you know, it wouldn't really hold that one breast up if there was any sort of weight to the breast, or if there's, you know, if it's pendulous or you have excess tissue and such. But so it really depends. So our gals will wear some of these leisure style bras with certain outfits, and they know, because they get used to what they need to wear with what type of outfit. If it's a real form-fitting shirt, then they're going to want a smooth bra, and they're going to want to have that, you know, nice shape to their chest, on their chest. And maybe they want a padded bra for some of those things. But if they're wearing something that has a lot of movement in like, you know, my shirt, you know, has a lot of pattern here, or like this has pattern in it, you know, they could wear something that has the seams, and it's going to be camouflage, because you're not going to be able to notice it as much if it's a more loose, flowy, with all that material going on. So really, without seeing your dress and what your breasts were doing. I can't really assess you this way. I would be able to, you know, in person. So feel free to come
See,
in.
that's what I love is I could come to you and, you know, you obviously, it looks like you have a lot of answers for a lot of different questions along those lines. And that's what's really exciting and wonderful. Can I ask you one more question? And I think, and I want to do this on behalf of everyone here today that isn't in Nebraska.
Okay.
Do you ever offer the opportunity to do a consultation, let's say over Zoom? Is that ever an option?
That's something we could probably work out, absolutely, but we definitely do lots of phone consultations, answer lots of questions on the phone, because we do have people call us from other states that are like, oh gosh, or a daughter for a mom, my mom's going through this, what can I do? So, you know, we do try to help anybody that we can, but absolutely we'll work with whoever.
I have a prosthetic question. I was fitted for one. I think you named one of them. I'm planning a trip with my daughter. I'm
Okay.
just wondering about airport security and going through those machines. Are they going to be like pulling me over thinking I've got like hiding a bag or something in there if I wear it? Or does it?
No, it'll go through. The only way that you would set the alarms off is if you're wearing a leisure form that has some of the leisure forms have a weighted technology to them, and they have a metal bead in them. So as long as it's a silicone prosthesis, you're gonna go through. And
even in the X-ray machine?
Yes, through the X-ray. They may be able to see that, you know, but they're not, I don't think they'll question. And if they would, all you do is say, I have prosthesis on.
Yeah.
You know, but the only way that you would set the metal detectors off is if you're wearing one of the leisure forms that have like True Life and has one that's a weighted form that has, it's not weighted heavy, but it's a foam form, but in it has some metal beads.
Okay.
But you should be good to go and don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
One of the last questions that I received, it's off the topic of this conversation, but it was I think a relevant topic. It's somebody that's just starting chemo, and they said, other than makeup, and you kind of touched on this, Lori, what are some other tips and tricks, techniques to looking fantastic, looking comfortable in your own skin? I know you talked about, you know, the patterns or wearing lipstick. Maybe talk a little more specifically about other tips that you have.
Tips for the face, like with makeup?
It said other than makeup.
Other than makeup?
Yeah, helping themselves look fantastic.
Okay. Well, I definitely, you know, I think that everybody, you know, that's a survivor would want to, you know, put some makeup on if they can. If they're not going anywhere, then I would say forget it. But if you're going out, for sure, you want to do something. I would say bump up the color. If you've always been a gray, black, you know, beige person, especially in the wintertime, I would say bump up your color palettes and, you know, really look at your eye color and see what your eye colors are. You know, if you have green eyes, I mean, you're going to look great in your greens and your purples and your corals and your aquas and your beautiful blues. You know, some of those type of things I would say would be really important. If you're going out and you want to look your best, then I would say definitely, you know, wear a really cute trendy hat or a wig. Take time for your makeup. If you don't have eyelashes, I would say put some false eyelashes on. You know, it wouldn't be anything I would wear every single day, but I would do that. If you don't have eyebrows, I would say do the eyebrow instant tattoos. You can get those on Amazon, and they're stick-ons. And I mean, literally, you put them on with a little water and you press, or not water, but I mean, just like a damp towel, and you press and then peel them off, and you have eyebrows for the evening. Definitely kick up, you know, lipstick colors and then colors on your body. Your skin is going to be the biggest thing to take care of during treatment, and that's what you can really feel comfortable in, because, you know, great skin, you can get great makeup. You know, you can put on great makeup if you have great skin, but if your skin's dehydrated, then we're having an issue, because everything's going to sit in your skin. So exfoliate and use some of those products that help, alleviate the dehydration. Dehydration in the skin causes fine lines and wrinkles. Dry skin, then, the tear in the tissue gets deeper, and then you get the deeper lines and wrinkles. So definitely use some of those things. Brighten your skin with a vitamin C if you're able to, and your skin can handle it during treatment. If you're getting the dark spots from, any of the treatments, some of the chemotherapies can cause hyperpigmentation on the skin. Do some of those things,
What about, can I
ahead.
add something? And Emma, I know she actually not only works for us, but she also works part-time at Ulta. And maybe
Okay,
she can
nice.
chime in her recommendations, but
Yeah.
real quick, with false eyelashes, I love the magnetic ones. And you just put on it's like eyeliner, and it's got magnetic properties in them. And then you just, they're almost like foolproof, because I'm horrible with glue on a good day. And I had like no eyelashes. So this made it a lot easier for me, because I was so used to doing the eyeliner thing. And then Emma, do you know what they were talking about with like some eyebrow kind of tattoos? Is there like some certain brands that everybody likes at Ulta, or have you seen sales of that or anything?
The stick-ons that she's talking about, I haven't seen those at our store, but they are available on Amazon. They work really well. A lot of stores like Ulta or Sephora or whatever you're near will have like an eyebrow expert, or like someone who puts on eyebrows, and they do a really great job. They can help draw them on. If they're growing them back in, they can help like do your eyebrows and help come up with like a plan for like making what you have look really nice. And like they can sell you things that kind of help fill in it so that it looks more full in your eyebrows. They can also do lash applications. So if you've never done it before, you've never worn fake eyelashes, there is somebody there who will put them on for you. And then they can kind of tell you how they're doing it. They can be like, this is a product we like, this is what we recommend, this is how you do it. And so that first time they'll put them on there for you. And then you can just buy more of that and start doing it at home. It is a learning curve for putting lashes on. I'm terrible at it. But you can have them help you, and then you can practice it and put those lashes on. So that service is available, and it's not very expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the
They have
questions.
stencils. They also have stencils, for eyebrows where you can just fill in. And I think Ulta does carry those. Yeah.
A question from the chat box asks if you could recommend a product for face moisturizer and hydration.
Okay. Well, I am a moisturizer junkie. So I spend money. I was just telling my 88-year-old dad yesterday, my mom always spent money until she couldn't do it anymore, because I've always spent pretty high dollar on my skincare. I'll be 62 this year, and I have pretty good skin for my age, but I have always used things that are going to address fine lines and wrinkles. And I've tried so many different products out there. I know Lisa uses a lot of Walgreens brands because she was working there at one point in her life, with working with number 7 and those type of things. So they're going to be a little less money. I am a big time Estee Lauder girl. I used to do regional and national artistry with them for a lot of years. And I just started on that little purple bottle called Perfectionist, and it changed my life. My wrinkles on my forehead disappeared, and I was like, what is this magic in the bottle? It is so wonderful. It was it immobilizes tears in the tissue and then just kind of shrinks them. But I started on Perfectionist and Advanced Night Repair probably, I don't even know, 28 years ago now. And I've just never found anything I love as much. So morning and night, you do repairs. And then whatever moisturizer really works for your own skin, whether you're a normal combination, whether you're dry. I wish I had a product in here that I could tell you was my magic, product, but it's just, we don't carry anything like that. These companies that have been around, like Lancome, Estee Lauder, and Dior and Chanel and all those, number 7 and
Tatcha.
Yeah, all these other, you
Yeah.
know, they've been in the industry for many years, and they spend, I know Estee Lauder, 25% of their income is gone back into research. It's just their research is amazing. They own MAC, they own Clinique, they own, you know, Philosophy, they own everybody, L'Oreal. I mean, they're just a huge, you know, so I mean, we're talking a lot of, you know, research that goes into these products and stuff. Now, yes, do some of them have chemicals in them? Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, we're not part of the UK where they ban, you know, all these different things that are in our products in the US, but that's where we're at. But
that's what's nice about number 7 too, is they don't have those chemicals in them. The other line that I really love is BioElements. That's a professional line that you could get through an esthetician. For you hairdressers, you could get it at the supply house. And that line's amazing, and it is clean, very clean. That's one of their.
Isn't it with Walgreens?
Vichy is from
Vichy.
France. That's another great
That's a
line.
nice
That's
one.
very clean. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a nice line at Walgreens. The
It
Vichy,
is.
they have a nice vitamin C.
Yes, they've got great
Mhm.
moisturizing products too.
Yeah.
Tatcha's another one that advertises that it's, you know, more clean, minimal skincare in terms of, you know, additives and that kind of thing. I really love the dewy skin. And also, Lori, I'm thinking the emu oil would be fantastic for a kind of a night repair, maybe around the eyes, because we all know vitamin E is great for that.
Yeah. I mean,
For sure.
you could do, yeah, if you're really, really dry and you want to address the hydration purpose or piece, I would say exfoliation is huge. I would do an exfoliator on the skin that gets kind of all that dry, those dead skin cells off, and then it allows the product to penetrate the skin to really do more of what it needs to do. So you just want to make sure that the one that you're using doesn't have, you know, heavy or big fat granules. You don't want anything that's going to tear your skin, tear the tissue. So you want it to be a fine, you know, a real fine exfoliation. And then you just do clockwise, counterclockwise, and go all the way around the whole face, avoiding the eye area. And then, and I would do that for several days to get that those dead skin cells off. And then I would go back in, and then you could apply, if you're really hydrated, you could do a light, you know, film of emu oil on your skin. If you're not wanting to break out, that would be fine. And, you know, you always want to layer your products. I'm a layering fool. I layer. You always want to layer the thinnest product to the thickest. So if it's an emu oil, I would probably start with that, or like my advanced night repair, it's a serum. And then my Perfectionist, I use 2 different Perfectionists, and the purple one is more for fine lines and wrinkles, and then the lifting firming one is one that, you know, is even thinner than the purple bottle. So then I let everything sink in one at a time. I get up at 5 in the morning and I'm out the door by 6. So I'm not like, you know, one of these people that, I mean, I get my breakfast or my lunch and my breakfast ready and everything during that time. So I do things really fast, but you know, I always say layer and then you know, let those things sink into your skin before you're just removing it by putting another product right over the top of it.
Thanks, Lori. And we're at time, but I want to ask this last question. It just asks for, it says, are those products, the ones that we're mentioning with the hydration, moisturizer, are those safe for cancer patients? And you kind of touched on it with some, you know, some of the chemicals that are in them, but if you could just perhaps answer that as we close.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, like Lisa was talking about the number 7, Vichy, definitely. I think those aren't those under boots? So yeah, Vichy, okay. So yeah, so I would say some of those are cleaner products that they're going to be fine for you. I really think as far as moisturizers on the skin, it's a little bit different than you know, your repairs. I think that you're okay in using whatever it is that's going to work for you to make you look and feel your best, you know, to prevent some of the things that chemotherapy causes with the loss of skin, you know, the dryness of skin. You know, your skin is the largest organ on your body. And so chemotherapy greatly affects your skin. So you're going to want to really care for your skin in any way. So whatever works for you is what you need to use, whether it has some of the things that maybe we wouldn't recommend on the hair and scalp. That's what I would do.
And the very best thing for your skin, real quick, SPF.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Oh yes, SPF. And yes, absolutely. Don't forget SPF. Yes. And a lot of these products have built-in SPFs, especially with your foundations and such now. They have those built in. But when you're undergoing chemotherapy, your skin is more sensitive to the sun. So definitely be using SPFs. And I mean, if you don't have hair, you're going to want to put it, you know, on your neck, on your ears, behind your ears, you know, all throughout that whole area, because you don't realize even with the neck hair, you know, how that kind of protects. So you just want to really make sure that you're putting all over your scalp with hair loss and things like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lisa. This has been really, really helpful, and I hope everyone else found it just as insightful and informative. We will go ahead and close. Our final announcement is that we do these events every month on different topics. Our session next month is on February 26th, and it's about talking to kids about cancer, whether that be children or teens, kind of navigating those conversations. So if anybody has any topic suggestions that they'd like to see in a future event, you can always call or email us. But this has been really, really helpful. I will go ahead and send a follow-up email this upcoming week with some of the resources that we discussed, and perhaps some product names for you guys to have coming out of the event. Looks like you're receiving lots of thanks in the chat box. So thanks, Lisa.
And also we want to make sure and have Lori's and Lisa's contact information in that follow-up as well, Kelly. So we will send that out to everyone too, of how to get a hold of you if they want to order products or just have a consultation or talk to you. So I want to give my thanks as well. And everyone, what a great session. Thanks so much for coming and being so open with your questions.
Great question. Thank you. It was awesome.
Right. Take care.
Bye. Have a great day.